Hey guys, so finally, after about almost 6 months, just 2 weeks shy of 6 months, I am finally getting back in the air. It has been crazy. I couldn't fly in November and December, more for family commitments and work. Had a lot going on. And usually any good days I had were taken up by holiday events, baby showers, things like that. So I just haven't been able to get out there. And I almost got out there in late February, early March, but on a pre-flight inspection, I found the clamp holding the radiator fill tank was broken and totally loose, and I didn't want to risk anything going into the prop, so I canceled that flight and drove home. And I had a hard time finding that. Polini was going to take a few weeks to get in, and I had a flying friend, shout out to Ken Smith, recommended trying a muffler or silencer clamp for a Moster 185. He said it looks to be about the same size. I wonder if it would work. So it was only about 20 bucks, so I ordered one and it fit perfectly. And here's a picture of that. So it worked perfectly. I finally got fixed, and now it was just a matter of waiting for weather. And the weather here in North Carolina has been absolute garbage. So finally got up, but everything you can imagine going wrong went wrong. The only camera that worked, as you can see from this video, was my 360 cam. My helmet cam, I thought the battery was dead. I couldn't get it to turn on. But actually later that evening after the flight, when I got home, it was at 65%, and I don't know why it didn't turn on, and maybe I was just frustrated and pressing wrong buttons, but I usually turn it on from my phone and it could not find the camera. So we ended up having to just go with the 360 camera, and we'll see how this turns out. I didn't think it was too bad. So that was one of the main things. The winds were only supposed to be like 4 to 7, which for me flying in the past was just fine. But not having flown in almost 6 months, I think my confidence level was at an absolute 0. So when I got up and I started getting bounced around all over the place, I thought, well, I'm just going to stick by the airport. I won't fly away too far. I got my confidence built a little bit back up after a few minutes. So then I decided to radio in, tell them I was going to cross over midfield and depart to the north. That lasted about maybe 2 or 3 minutes, because the higher I got once I got out of the pattern, it really started throwing me around, especially when I got up to about 500 feet. And winds aloft looked good on the Ryan Carlton site, but everything seemed to be off this day. And again, maybe it was more my confidence level than anything else, but it was just absolutely crazy trying to get things worked out to where I felt comfortable, and I never was. So after I departed to the north, I turned around. After about a minute, I radioed in, told the airport I was coming back and I was going to land on the grass strip between the runway and the taxiway. Luckily, there was really no traffic at all. I felt like I had the airport to myself. There was a few that took off before me, but they departed, and I felt like I had the airport pretty much to myself, which was nice. So yeah, here you can see I'm leaving the airport, and it's a little hard to tell. It doesn't look bumpy in the video, but I was just getting tossed around like a rag doll, and it was making my heart rate go up. It was kind of funny now, but then I was kind of really freaking out, trying to deal with this. But I think it all worked out. I ended up having to land a little not downwind, but the winds were very twitchy. I was watching the windsock just change directions. It would, the wind would come out of the north, then it would come out of the west, which is the direction I took off. And it was just very twitchy and changing around. And when I came out here, I was actually looking for some smokestacks that I normally saw, but there were no smokestacks to be seen. So I ended up turning around. It was a short flight. I don't think it was any more than 8 minutes total. And but I was glad to finally get up. And one thing I forgot to mention, oh, there you see, I'm getting bounced around pretty good. But my first launch was completely blown. It was really ugly. The winds had just kind of pulled the wing all the way over to one side, even though I was pumping on the other side, and it just wasn't working. And maybe I should have called it a day then, but I was just needing to get up in the air. It had been so long. It was 65 miles out there. I didn't want to drive home one more time without having gone up. So it ended up all working out. So hopefully I'll be making more. But you'll see on this landing here, the wing came down practically on top of me, even though I'm got the brakes buried. But when it finally came down, the wing was all over. My lines are tangled up, so I may make another video with untangling those lines on the paraglider itself. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon. Hopefully it'll be a lot sooner than the last time. I'll try to get back to flying a couple times a month. And again, thanks so much for watching. Appreciate you guys.